Hello, YouTube friends. My name is Constance and this is Cruelty Free Musings. Welcome to my channel. My angle is off, but I will deal. Alright, so today's video is the August update to my project pan. This is all of the progress that I did in the month of July and a little bit of August because I'm late. I'm late recording. It's fine. It's fine. So if you're not familiar with the concept of a project pan, make sure that you're using up your older products. One of the ways that you can do that, so you can make sure that you're using up your things, is by putting them in a project pan. This particular project pan is a year-long project pan. It is a rolling project 9 pan. That means it has 9 things in it at all times. As I use things up, they get rolled out, and I add in something else. It is approximately a full face project pan. I don't have, my makeup collection's not that old, and a lot of the stuff that I bought when I was first getting into makeup I had to get rid of because it turns out that I'm very pale, and a bunch of things that are raved about don't come in a color that suits me. So like, I don't have a bunch of 2-year-old foundations. Like I did get into I did get into makeup 2 years ago, but I don't have 2-year-old foundations because all of the foundations that I bought 2 years ago are too dark for me. So that's why it's approximately a full face of project, approximately a full face project pan, because I have a foundation in it and a concealer right now, but that's not always the case. I have not had a foundation in it. I have not had a concealer in it. I have a blush and a bronzer, but not a highlight. So, and I don't have any eyeshadow in this project pan currently. This is affiliated with the Beauty News affiliated Team Project Pan, started by Kat and Hailey. They were like, whatever full face rolling project pan for all of 2019 that you would do anyway, you can just join ours. So that is what I did. If you want to see other people who are participating in the Team Project Pan, you can click the hashtag. There is one in the title of this video, and YouTube will automatically search for creators that it thinks you might be interested in, who are also doing Team Project Pan. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Starting as usual with my great big honkin' body lotion. This sits beside my bed and is my nighttime hand lotion, and I have made actually zero progress on this. Like, I'm not going to mark it because I would be putting a line right beneath, so that there's this line, and you see where my nail is? That is where the line would go. It would touch the other line. I knew that I was not using this very fast. This is mostly just because I've been forgetting to lotion my hands at night. I've been tired when I go to bed, and I've looked at the lotion bottle and been like, my hands aren't that dry. It'll be fine. So this has not been getting used regularly, so I made no progress. Hooray! Oh, my method is I go through all of the things that I have in my project pan, and then if I used anything up, then I will add in something else at the end. Alright, moving on to face stuff. This is my foundation, as I mentioned. This is the Too Faced Peach Perfect Comfort Matte. This is in the color Swan. It matches me pretty dead on right now because my skin goes a little bit neutral yellow in the summer, it doesn't really change in depth. It changes a little tiny bit, but not really. So this matches me pretty well right now. I have used a decent amount of it, but you can see I still have a ways to go. Like, you know, probably a couple, like, if I stay this color for a couple more months, it'll probably take me all of a couple more months. It might take me through the end of the year though, because if I don't use it up before I change back to my normal porcelain cool undertone super pink self. But that'll be fine. So yeah, working away on this. I have given up on weighing things. So just so you know, just so you are aware, I have given up. I am no longer doing that. Ixnay on the weighing things. Just no. Not useful. It's in the kitchen. My scale is in the kitchen, where it is actually being useful. This is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in Fair 04. So this is too light for me right now. And the way that my exact skin tone is, when concealers are too light for me, typically they stop covering my dark circles at all. And that is what happened. So first, this doesn't match me right now, so I can't really wear it by itself. You know, as I am currently, no foundation, just concealer under my eyes. I can't do that because it looks like I have reverse sports stripes under my eyes. Like, that's what it looks like. So, yeah, this is on hold until I change color back to my fair self, because I have used that like a couple of times, enough to know that it's a no. Right now, does not match me, does not look good. We're not doing that. Okay, moving on. This is my Butter Bronzer. Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Light Bronzer. Look. There's a dip. Does it look larger than the other times that there has been a dip? Maybe. I have started using this in my crease. Wow, that's very coconut. It's extremely coconut. So I started using this with this brush, put eye primer on my eyes, and just really like swirl it in there because it's light. So it doesn't provide much of a shadow in my eyes, especially behind my glasses. So I really swirl it in there and get a lot of bronzer on there, and then I kind of fluff it into my crease and sort of halfway across my lid. And then I'll blend out my lower lash line with a little bit more to give my eyes a little bit of definition behind my glasses, because very nearsighted, extremely nearsighted. So my eyes would look like pinpricks if I didn't add some kind of definition. And then like throw something sparkly on the lid. And that is pretty good. It's an extremely natural look, but hopefully it's helping me use it up a little bit faster. Because, you know, that thing, it never ends. This is my blush. It is the BareMinerals Gen Nude Powder Blush in On the Mauve. This has been in the project like the bronzer since the very beginning. And unlike the bronzer, you can't really tell that there's any progress at all. I basically wear this every day. But it's pretty pigmented, so like I dip in once or twice, and then I swipe it on my cheeks, and then I go over it with my foundation sponge. So because pale and pigmented, they don't necessarily mesh. It's a really good color tone for me, so I'm willing to work with it. But yeah, pigmented blushes, difficult for very fair people. This, it might take me until the end of next year to hit pan at this rate. To finish off the face, we have this. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon bronzer. Yes, I do actually use this to set my face because it's pale enough. Anyway, this is the color Reserve Your Cabana. You can use it as a very subtle highlight. And I do sometimes. You can see that there's a good amount of ring development in the bottom of that pan. I mostly dust this lightly over my face, but the significant dip in the center has been from using it as a highlight, except this is my minimum level of highlight pretty much, and to get this to that level of highlight I have to like scrub my brush into it. Like, I will demonstrate here. Okay, it's working. I've kicked up a lot of powder. Okay, so there is that much on the brush, and let's, oh look, it's taking off my highlight. Yeah, like you can see it's a nice pretty soft sheen, but it's not really any kind of glow. So when I use this as a highlighter, I tend to get enough for a normal highlighter for me, and then look at it and decide that that's not enough highlighter, and do the scrubby. I am just re-adding Becca Moonstone, which might not have been the original highlight, but whatever, it's my highlight now. Let's fix my blush while we're at it. Okay, there we go. All right. Detour aside, all right, that is a very natural highlighter, and I don't really enjoy using it as a highlighter. That is the conclusion of that. Now let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is my Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Highlighter, which I use as a liner in my inner rim. I basically use it every day, and I have sharpened it one time in the entire month. For those of you who have not watched or are not aware or don't remember, my goal is to obscure some amount of that bunny or the cruelty free. Guys, we might not make it. This This might last me, this might roll into next year. Man, you don't need a lot of this to just line your inner rim. I am using it up primarily because I don't consider Wet n Wild to be cruelty free now that they have accidentally shown that they are selling in China. So I don't want their stuff in part of my collection, and I figured that's a staple that I can incorporate into my daily life and pretty much use up fairly quickly, probably. So that's what I'm trying to do. Alright, next up these ColourPop Creme Gel Eyeliners. This one is in Call Me, it's a brown, and this one is Fastlane, it is a black and teal. They're basically interchangeable in how I use them because I don't use them in a way that that shows off the color at all. Oh, wow. Okay, so you notice that Call Me is broken. That is the reason that these are in my, that's the reason these are in the project at all, because they're old. So Call Me broke and fell onto my tablet as I was watching something while getting ready, and I was like, oh no, let me actually put some effort into using these up before they utterly die. And it turns out that over the last couple of weeks I've been really crushing on my subculture, and there are a couple of really pretty teals in there. So I have used this teal, Fastlane, a lot more than I thought I would. So at the beginning of the project, Fastlane was about twice as much as Call Me. Call Me has not moved that much. It's maybe gone down a third. But you can see Fastlane is almost the same length now. So go me. That is exciting. Let's see. That one's Fastlane, and that one's Call Me. Okay, so good progress on these. Better than I expected on Fastlane, for sure. Nowhere near using up, but a lot closer than any of my other things. So yay! Maybe next month I'll actually have an empty. Oh, these count as one item, so I won't roll in another item until I use up both of those. I'll just swap to using the other one exclusively. And finally, this was my last lip color. And this is Bite Beauty Amuse Bouche Liquefied Lipstick in Whip. I carried it a couple of times, and it was really difficult to actually apply to my lips by the end of the day. And then I let it sit for 3 weeks, and now it's like the wand is gooped with product again. Which direction do I go? Do I continue with my resolution to call it done? Let the record stand that the last time that I weighed this, it started as 18 grams. The last time I weighed it was 10 grams. Basically, all the weight that's left in it is packaging. There is maybe a week's worth of solid use in this. But it's a very yellow nude, and it's not super flattering on me unless I'm wearing a full face, like full face of makeup, kind of dramatic, smoky eye. Like that's pretty much the situation that I have to be in to wear this. Or I have to pair it with a lip liner, which who has the energy for that? I am sticking with my original resolution and I'm rolling this out. Goodbye. Starting me empties again. Okay. And to roll in, to replace my one item, this is Lancôme La Vie est Belle. Lancôme is not cruelty free. They sell in China. I bought this before I was cruelty free. So, 2 reasons. 1, it's a year and a half old. 2, it's not cruelty free. And 3rd reason, I kind of don't like the scent anymore. Like I spray it and I'm like, oh, that I taste the perfume. That's mostly just on days when I'm being exceptionally sensitive to scents and surroundings. But still, like, that's not a great feeling to be like, oh, I sprayed perfume. I smell like denatured alcohol and I can kind of taste it. And also, I have the problem that I have to be careful how regularly I use perfume because it'll flare up my eczema, because one of the main triggers for eczema for me is my skin being too dry, and denatured alcohol, which is a main component of every perfume, basically, other than like a perfume oil that you rub on that melts into your skin. Any spray perfume pretty much is going to have denatured alcohol. So I want to get rid of this. I think it probably won't take me too long. I do have those restrictions, which I mentioned, where I have to, pay attention to where I'm spraying it and move where I'm spraying it, and not where it's so much that I hate it. But I think if I concentrate on it, if I don't use other perfumes if I mostly don't use other perfumes, like there's not that much in there, I feel like maybe I can use this up in a month. We'll see. We will see together. I hope you enjoyed or learned something, or both. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you feel like, and goodbye for now.